Let us give you some numbers. 1,173. That's the number of crimes against women cases that were lodged last year per day. 378. That's the number of domestic violence cases that were recorded per day last year. And 87. That's the number of rape cases that were recorded per day last year. And then finally, the big number. 90 lakhs. That's the number of girl child missing due to female infanticide from the year 2000 to 2019. To give you a perspective, the population of Delhi is 193 lakhs. So that's half the population of Delhi gone.
You can't laugh as loud as boys in the bus. You can't, be uncouth like boys in the bus.
As girls, we've always been told that this is something you have to do. You have to, obey certain rules and travel in a certain way.
I'm actually feeling unsafe in late at night and going to watch a film somewhere. I would never do that. I can't dream of doing that.
Everyone is scared. Parents are really scared.
By now, you've probably guessed what this video is going to be about. Yes, we are going to talk about some harsh realities and facts about the condition of women in India. And no, this is not going to be a pleasant video with a happy ending. But we do implore you to stick with us till the end because, as we can see in the numbers, something is clearly wrong and we hope this video might help somewhere to make it a little bit right. As per the latest estimates, the Indian population has 48% women in it. From the valiant Rani Lakshmibai to Nightingale Sarojini Naidu, from PV Sindhu to Kiran Shaw. India has always prided herself with a glorious history of some of the fiercest and well-known women. In fact, if you go to a temple, you'll find every single temple will have a shrine of a female goddess. Almost every single one of them. And ironically, India also ranks 135 out of 146 countries when it comes to the Global Gender Gap Index. India was given the last rank out of these 146 countries when it came to the health and survival parameter. As per the latest reports, you'll find that there was also a 20% increase in the number of harassment at workplace complaints in Nifty 50 companies in the year 2022 compared to 2021.
She was his subordinate in a newspaper and she went to him and said that, this is my script. And he said, your lines have to be tighter than your jeans. Jeez. You get away with it. How do you get away with that? And what do you do to the confidence of that girl? And we let them be and we give them space. Because a lot of us don't want to be branded as trouble.
As per the latest reports, 2021 recorded the highest number of crimes against women ever in India. With respect to 2020, the crime against women rose by 15%, rape cases by 13.2%, and domestic violence cases a staggering 37%. But why is it that a country where women are worshipped as goddesses is also a country notorious for its unsafe environment for women? The answer, honestly, isn't that simple. Centuries of societal issues, an inefficient legal system, victim shaming, widespread objectification of women by entertainment industries, all of these have led to the situation that we are in now. Madhumita Pandey, a lecturer in criminology at the Sheffield Hallam University in UK, undertook a study amongst the convicted rapists in Tihar Central Jail to understand their underlying mindset. What she found out, unsurprisingly, was that most of these convicts don't really understand what they did was wrong.
अगर कोई शरीफ लड़की होती है रात को 9 बजे मतलब नहीं घूमती है लड़के भी उतना उससे ज़्यादा जिम्मेदार है रेप के लिए ये लड़के हैं उससे ज़्यादा.
This, unfortunately, is not an outlier. This is an outcome of centuries of patriarchal mindset where men have been conditioned to believe that they are superior to women and hence there's always an urge to establish dominance. How often have you heard someone say, don't play like a girl, don't run like a girl, or don't cry like a girl. See, this innately sends a message to kids, especially boys, at an impressionable age that they are better and they have to uphold their masculinity. Additionally, oftentimes celebrities and politicians make certain remarks which end up blaming the victims themselves, thus enforcing this lack of accountability. Another reason in here is our legal system. Although we have multiple laws and legal provisions protecting women's rights and empowering them, execution of the same is infuriatingly slow. It's not uncommon that we often see how victims and their families end up waiting for years and sometimes decades for justice.
Over the years, the papers have piled up. First, the investigators said they didn't have enough evidence to prove rape and murder, so the suspects were set free. The family challenged this and got the case reopened, but charges have been reduced to just molestation and kidnap.
The law says that cases should be heard quickly, but the courts are deaf to our pleas. I've been doing the rounds of courts, but the poor hardly ever get justice.
कोर्ट्स के लिए विशेष सुविधाएं नहीं है. कभी कभी कोई एफएसआर रिपोर्ट है और बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट्स हैं वो विलम्ब से आ पाती हैं. कभी कभी एविडेंस जैसे हम सरकारी गवाह हैं, जैसे आईओ है, डॉक्टर है, ये लोग ट्रांसफ़र में चले जाते हैं तो दूर से संबंध तामील होने में दिक्कत होती है, पर देर से आते हैं, तो इसी वजह से थोड़ा विलम्ब हो जाता है.
These systemic issues are further compounded by our entertainment industry. Movies and TV shows often portrays misogynistic and toxic behavior towards women in a positive light, and in turn enforces this patriarchal culture. Look at it this way, it's a vicious loop. The entertainment industry keeps churning out movies and item songs. Then these item songs gives them profit. Now this in turn validates the youth of the country and makes them popular, prompting the industry to make these item songs even more. In fact, an Australian man accused of stalking escaped conviction after a court considered that he was wrongly influenced by Bollywood movies. I see, it seems bleak, but slowly and steadily we are trying to make this country a safer place for our women. Several initiatives like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Ujjwala Yojana, the National Commission for Women, Nirbhaya 2012 or the Vishakha Guidelines are starting to make a dent. However, more than these government initiatives, we need something that can overcome centuries of this regressive mindset. The first step towards this is education. We need to educate our children that men and women are inherently equal. We need to show them through our actions that everyone, irrespective of their gender, needs to be treated with respect and kindness. We need to educate and empower our minors so that whenever they face abuse, they are not ashamed to approach the authorities. Well, secondly, our legal system needs to improve. India's legal system has the largest backlog of pending cases in the world. As of April 2022, this number stands at 30 million. And with a conviction rate of as low as 39%, coupled with the exhausting judicial process, victims and their families often give up and the perpetrators get to roam around free without suffering any consequences for their actions. And thirdly, the police department, which plays the role of the first point of contact for a victim seeking justice, it needs to be more cooperative and sensitive. Often, complainants face a harrowing process of questioning and victim shaming from the police itself, which makes them lose hope and give up altogether. And finally, it's us. It's us who needs to be vigilant. It's us who need to raise our voices in protest whenever we see someone, regardless of the gender, being mistreated. I would like to end today's video with this clip and thank you all for listening.
But what I have realized is that we need to make systematic structural changes. Changes that address everyday normalized misogynistic attitudes in order to make this country a safer place for women. It is these misogynistic attitudes that allow rapists to justify their crimes, evade responsibility, and shift the blame on the victim. And that is why the issue of sexual violence in India needs a strong call to action which must first and foremost include changing mindsets.